to the end of May, Poetry and Music Salon, and this was a pop-up salon because all the places that I normally run a salon on Saturdays were unavailable. And we found this spot at the library that had been booked by somebody else. They canceled, but they had a sound technician booked in. It was like a pop-up salon, and I thought, well, what would be really nice to do with something that's a gift? So we've got 11 features, and it's a Fort McMurray Fire Relief Fundraiser. Yeah! So the 80,000 people who were evacuated from their homes in Fort McMurray are going to be starting to trickle back area by area in early June. Some of the groups are pushed right back to September because of toxicity, but 300 firefighters from South Africa arrived. They were great. There's video. They're all dancing to help the wildfires that have spread into northern Alberta where the oil fields are. So every single donation helps. The Red Cross, the federal government will match a donation, and so will the Alberta government, so whatever you give will triple. It's like a good spell. Whatever you send out comes back, yeah. And I'm just so glad everybody's here. It's wonderful to see you all, and yeah, welcome. Clara Blackwood.
I think I like the idea of reading without a mic. Can everyone hear me okay? Just keeping it fluid, so maybe I'll do that for a change. I'm going to be reading from my book, Forecast, and the first section is kind of Toronto-centric. However, this could be happening anywhere. It could be happening somewhere in Alberta, these poems. So I'll begin there in the first section of the book. The White Tower. I believe a strange force field surrounds the high-rise I live in. This would explain the insanity, the jumpers, baby danglers, elevators opening between floors, and my perilous love life. It's not a force field that protects, but revs things up, frenetic, like too many knives in an address. It explains the lady on the 14th floor, cloaked in Edwardian, who threw a butcher knife down the length of the hallway. I will witness the balconies bleeding blue, the flying buttresses coming unhinged, 3 a.m. false alarms, urgent knocks at my door asking for help. I have my place in it. Blind date. A mouthful of roses, his laughter. He has a good job, works out at the gym more than I do. His voice is deep as his wine-colored shirt. Spontaneous risk-taker, loves skydiving, has performed in adult films, wears his Bluetooth to bed. By evening's close, he tells me all about myself. I invite trouble, am a locked vault, and I can't rectify any of it. The infatuation. In the storm of his hands, I saw a hint of what was to come. His words were satellites I mistook for planets. In the end, I found no topiaries, no lakeshore, just an abandoned warehouse in a back alley. Change of address. He lives above a haunted nightclub, old site of an Aboriginal curse. After the bass subsides, he hears the walls moan. The rooms lie awake. They house dealers and wendigos. Sometimes the nightlife continues upstairs. A dominatrix flees at dawn, her garter wilting on the doorknob. Cinema verite surrounds the high-rise I live in. This would explain the insanity, the jumpers, baby danglers, elevators opening between floors, and my perilous love life. It's not a force field that protects, but revs things up, frenetic, like too many knives in an address. It explains the lady on the 14th floor, cloaked in Edwardian, who threw a butcher knife down the length of the hallway. I will witness the balconies bleeding blue, the flying buttresses coming unhinged, 3 a.m. false alarms, urgent knocks at my door asking for help. I have my place in it. Blind date. A mouthful of roses, his laughter. He has a good job, works out at the gym more than I do. His voice is deep as his wine-colored shirt. Spontaneous risk-taker, loves skydiving, has performed in adult films, wears his Bluetooth to bed. By evening's close, he tells me all about myself. I invite trouble, am a locked vault, and I can't rectify any of it. The infatuation. In the storm of his hands, I saw a hint of what was to come. His words were satellites I mistook for planets. In the dream, we are both changing kitty litter, scooping the refuse into glossy white bags. We are doing this simultaneously in 2 identical apartments, side by side, like a split screen frame in some French film. I could never picture you changing kitty litter, yet here I meet you in an oblique hallway, true to dream, plastic bag in hand, caught with the evidence. And I will read the title poem of the book, Forecast. The weather ahead is unpredictable. Shellfish could fall from the skies, summer and winter congeal. You may find love or spite, always ambivalence. There are wind patterns you don't understand, pink hailstones and midnight at noon, total solar eclipse, birds migrating in reverse. You believe there is a way to distill chaos, that you could recover a torch to illuminate the darkness, pinpoint a light source brighter than Andromeda, if you just knew how to begin. And I will finish up with a couple of subtle poems. I think it's fair to say that they're more subtle poems, I don't know, but I'll finish there. The Woman and the Anchor. Before her is a great expanse of unknown, nothing but vagueness. She stands on a rocky cliff, wind-lashed, wanting to leave this place, stuck. She is trying to lift a giant anchor twice her size. It's futile. She imagines strong arms coming to her aid. Years pass like clouds. One day, without effort, she tosses the anchor into the sea. In the far distance, a ship unfurls its sails. 2 kinds of blue. There's a short epigraph. Today, the blueness burns in between new greens and spaces, soundless blackness. Margaret Avison. My life is changing, no more the cyan it once was, shifting into cerulean. A band of white divides the 2 phases, what I can't know and the inevitable. A deeper blue burns in the beholding eye. Soft blacks compel the perimeter. Here I must make space for the new, sky emptying into stream. What binds me together are ciphers scratched in the fabric of now. Thank you.
Thank you, Clara. So I have a book coming out in the fall from Guernica, and it's called Tidal Fury. And okay, entrap. The sky trapped in clouds, threatening. The air heavy with words. The weight of droplets that sleet earthwards. Crystals breaking on pavement, streaming on windows. The day steamy damp. I tap on a laptop by the window of an Italian cafe, sipping cappuccino. I write to him. An obscure woman attacks my writing as impenetrable. Her target was someone else. The arrows, the marks. The woman haunting, her odd responses, the ceaselessness of her words. Does the writing we are immersed in trouble you, monsieur? The communities I post in, flocks of birds flying in scattered formation, Today, mon cher, I am not good with words. Describe her? I trace patterns in her words, read her braille of air. We surf where the screen becomes a brine of glass and posts open and close like visions, where writing is an ocean continually closing over itself. Her stories are long, drawn out, paragraphs encroach. Waves dissolve sand the shore. She is a rising tide. My screen splashes with spilling breakers. Imagine her. Her hair like seaweed pulled back, wisps loosely lining the face. I've never seen her or gazed on a photograph. She wears veils of words, obscuring sea sprays of forcefulness that surprise. I use the imagery of water, monsieur, but the metaphors shift and leave the desolate shore and come into the city of words, to her house, where she moves like a figment of fabric and skin. She rustles a blackness of cloth and red, rhinestone glint poppy, rhinestone glint brooch of a poppy, toss of beaded rose earrings, like Native American dream catchers, or that ruby rising out of a ring of melted cast gold on hands woven with pale veins and the delicacy of a musician's fingers. Open her closet. On the floor, you will see red canvas tennis shoes, ginger petal satin slippers, patent leather ruby heels, flaming red slick knee-high boots. On the shelf, vinyl scarlet belt, crimson sash of silk, red opera gloves, a vermilion hat, dragging down the white wall like Barnett Newman's Lima Sabachthani series, a funerary dirge of black dresses, a heavy curtain of silk, cotton, corduroy, rayon, wool hung on shellacked cedar hangers. Her unkempt garden teems with the untended, unweeded, like writing that chokes. Think of musty red pomegranates split, and Aubrey Beardsley's version of Oscar Wilde's Salome, drawn in bold lines, but aged with white skin, the black habits and the blood-red splashes that are uniquely hers. Florid perfume and compost. Her writing resembles a mass of cut flowers, some dying, some bursting forth, floral with dark passion. Salt swirls, leaches the soil, dying follows her. She's in a difficult economic situation. How she came to penury is a story that grows stranger with each telling. The publications she wrote for, autumnal leaves that fell and floated away. Her fish bones were broken and reset crookedly. Yet she fishes and mercilessly scales what's caught. Is she a victim or a perpetrator? I don't know. Are there any true stories? An onrush of waves from the sky, the ocean, salt water spills in my mouth. Monsieur, I beseech you to help me break free of the undertow. Why does she silence us, I and the others? She speaks in the diminutive, sarcasm of a seaward parrot, words twisted in the ruffle of virid and cinnabar feathers. Inside the sharp beak, she beleaguers my labored writing. It's unbearable, the denouncer's voice. for a fertile slope, my Sisyphean ball of letters, instead of this ocean of caustic words? Why can't I go elsewhere where welcomes wait? Monsieur, your beloved. Number 2, clipped. A sea of turbulent words, ma mère. I know this woman who is a stranger. I read my past into her, Monsieur, and I ask how to stop the virid, the cinnabar. I am under wing, clipped. When she imagines insects rising from a hole in my belly, and she screams when she cannot forget, when I am deprived of the power of speaking. Undercover, number 3. Your writing draws me in, Monsieur. You breathe words into me, hot, intimate. I slip under the covers of those words where langue pulsates, where lives are assembled, disassembled, reassembled, where poetry is born. Interconnecting, interlacing, the pulsing energy where we fall in love, are enwrapped. Thank you. Welcome, Tim Maxwell.
And being in a basement just above a tunnel, I think I know which tune I'm going to play. I am lost in the catacombs, searching through the darkness, the dust and bones of long dead dreams, plans and schemes, here in the catacombs. For I can see no light before me, no, I cannot find my way. I need someone to restore me, help me reach the light of day. I am lost in the catacombs, where all my demons, they make their homes. I climb the walls like a spider crawls, here in the catacombs, where I can see no light before me, no, I cannot find my way. I need someone to restore me, help me reach the light of day. I am lost in the catacombs. Find me here in the dust and bones. Bring your light to me tonight, here in the catacombs, for I can see no light before me, no, I cannot find my way. I need someone to restore me, help me reach the light of day. I can see no light
help me reach the light of day.
Thank you. And one more?
In your eyes I see a lonely soul. I'd like to give you what the others stole. A little love can go a long, long way if you take it day by day. A little love can go a long, long way if you take it day by day. There is no lifetime guarantee, but you could have this love for free. A little love can go a long, long way if you take it day by day. A little love can go a long, long way if you take it day by day. You're afraid someone may steal that heart of yours that you conceal. You lick your wounds, but they don't heal until you're brave enough to feel. A little love can go a long, long way if you take it day by day. A little love can go a long, long way if you take it day by day. There's no telling where this could lead. Once your lonely heart's been free, a little love can go a long, long way if you take it day by day.
Thank you, Tim. And next is Linda Stitt.
I'm going to start out with the poem that I always start out with, which a lot of you have probably heard by now, but I'm going to read it anyway. And if you want to join in, please do. It's called Time Out. We were always one. There was only one. There never was anyone else. But just to make the sport more scary, we played the game of solitary and hid ourselves in mysteries, swathed in our separate histories, and dreamed of finding one. But it was always one. One hung upon the cross, one sat beneath the Bodhi tree, and one was bad, and one was good, and one was all there'll ever be. Shaman and cynic, sinner and saint. Behind the mask, beneath the paint, beyond the blade of arbitrary time, there has been one, integral and sublime, being whatever, however, whoever it chose to be. Being you, being me, being itself in myriad manifestation. And not to spoil the game, but just to have a moment's celebration, let's recollect with love and jubilation that we are one. Thank you. This is called The Matricide. I was not her firstborn, not her only child, but by some mishap of my birth, some changeling rage, some malevolent mutation, I have wandered from my mother's line and made a family of my desires. My pleasure was my power. I created a God who gave me dominion and took my mother for my slave, my wet nurse, and my concubine. I have bound her with fetters ripped from her sinews and throttled her with a garrote fashioned from her own stripped veins. I have blinded her with acid and fouled her tears with my excrement. I wear her teeth as bracelets and smear my face with the secretion of her glands. I have torn out her hair and plucked the down from her limbs to adorn myself in savage splendor. I have committed conflagrations, infernos, holocausts upon her skin, and paid no heed to her convulsions. I have poured greed and hatred and holy wars down her throat, and masturbated against her thighs as she shuddered, writhed, and vomited molten agony. I have shattered her eardrums and stolen her voice with noxious thunder, poisoned her exhalations of sweetgrass, cedar, sage, and uncorrupted smoke with mephitic fulminations of debauchery. I have sucked dry her bountiful teats, which withheld nothing, and, unsatisfied, sunk my ravening fangs into her breast and gorged myself upon her blood. I have flattened her mounds with merciless blows and filled her crevices with degradation. I have pierced her organs and gulped her juices and cannibalized my siblings who sought a gentler share. I have saddened her and shamed her, degraded and debauched her, and yet she loved me and cradled me in her vast generosity, even as she died. And now I lie shivering against her cold, bruised belly, pinching and kneading and clawing the moribund flesh and shrieking in slack-jawed, uncomprehending terror, "More, more, give me more." And this one's called Roses. I do not open up my senses in the city. I have forgotten how to trust. Betrayed too often by cacophony and dust, I tend to wall myself in quasi-catatonic inner pity. Inner carping, more's the pity, but spare the pity. I have friends of great compassion who know me well and will not let me fashion of my retreat a cell, rather a simple, peaceful, permeable citadel. And so they come and gather me before my mortar hardens and take me to a lakeside park to walk among the fountains and the flower gardens, and they nod and smile and nod their heads, empowering me to walk into the rich, prolific beds where a delight of smell and sight discloses roses. Roses, roses, only roses, roses jovial and merry, gregarious and solitary. Roses riotous and raucous in seclusion and in caucus. Blousy, frowsy roses, roses without shame, who make no secret of their sensuality and celebrate their transitory fame. Roses courageous, standing undaunted as each petal falls. Roses that should be painted on black velvet and hung on brothel walls. Roses that are a put-on of perfection, dreaming in self-centered introspection. Gentle roses, wicked roses, innocent roses, roses of generosity and soul so great, I want to jump right in and pollinate. Roses of shyness, roses of valor, roses suffused, roses of pallor, roses of carnal undertones and satin overlay. Roses as spare as desert bones, roses as lush as Valentine's Day. Roses virginal, serene, angelic, dayglow roses, neon, psychedelic, a potpourri of roses, each of them doing its part, giving the best of its fragrance out of its occult heart. Breathing raspberry whispers, sighing cinnamon sighs. Revelations of roses are redolent and wise. Roses gracious, ostentatious, bumptious, sumptuous, salacious. Roses fervid and assertive. Roses shy, but never furtive. Roses effusive, roses reclusive, roses plebeian, roses exclusive, roses insolent and modest. The most common and the oddest bring delight and wonder to this place and restore me to a state of grace. And with my faith renewed by roses, I dare with careless and unwary daring to open once again my ears here by a tranquil meditation pond. And when it hears, in a naked and unguarded moment, a finch's song trilling compellingly above the drone of traffic, the mind rebels at such simplicity, leaps into silence, falls into love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. That was fantastic. Everybody was wonderful.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Hey, we're going to warm up a little bit. Traveling down the highway, singing songs galore. Driving the open country, going by country stores. Moving up to Yukon to see some friends I know. Isn't the North just beautiful if you see it as you go? So be yourself, I say, be a friend to me. 'Cause I've done everything that I can to be a friend to thee. Be yourself, I say, be a friend to me. Be a friend to everyone and just be free. From the Sound to the Berkshires to Connecticut you go. Sing your songs together, just a singing as you go. Writing lines that seem to rhyme about things you've seen or done. Ho ho! Sky's blue, grass is green. We're having so much fun. So be yourself, I say, be a friend to me. 'Cause I've done everything that I can to be a friend to thee. Be yourself, I say, be a friend to me. Be a friend to everyone and just be free.
Okay, break's over. Kirk, Felix, Tom Hamilton,
Sean Peever.
John,
And Kevin Jeffrey.
Sean Peever.
Sean Peever and Kevin. Welcome.
I'm Kirk Felix, and Kevin Jeffrey, Sean Peever, and Tom Gannon Hamilton. And we're going to do a couple of original songs that I wrote for you. I have a CD available up in where the refreshments are, and a portion of that, if you purchase a CD, will be given to the Fort McMurray Fund we have going here. Okay, this is called Dusty Roads. Many roads I've traveled to the places I've been, trekked all around this world, so much to have taken in. But the best place I have ventured is that dusty one toward home. It's time to set my feet down, no more dusty roads to roam. I've shared my life in the literature, shared my prose and song. I've shared my time with others, walking dusty roads along. It's time to set my feet up and kick back for a little while. This old guitar speaks of journeys together through the miles. Those dusty roads have taken me where others dare not go. Traveled up the mountains to the valleys down below. They've led me to the narrow paths, felt the wind upon my face, and opened up God's beauty in many a lovely space. I'm older than I used to be, my traveling days are few. I put away the fishing rod, the rough and the tumble too. I'm settling in that easy chair, reminiscent of my life's run, all the dusty roads I've traveled and my time that's yet to come. Dusty roads are where I've traveled, dusty roads are where I've been. Dusty roads all around this world, so much to have taken in. But the best place I have ventured is that dusty one toward home. It's time to set my feet down, no more dusty roads to roam. It's time to set my feet down to the place that I call home. No more dusty roads for me to roam. Thank you so very much. And we haven't rehearsed this.
This makes it more fun.
Right, right. And these guys, I usually do solos, and these guys are here just because they want to do it. So I'm not really in a band, but everybody calls this my funky band. Anyway, yeah. So this next song is called an old folky song because I consider myself an old folky. I go back as far as 1970, thereabouts. Well, actually, I was doing it in high school. Anyway, so we're going to do this, and then we'll get off the stage and let somebody else come up here and who really knows how to use words correctly. I'm just an old folk singer. I pen some songs, so much I have learned as time goes on. I've never been in a band, 'cause I've always sung alone, just sharing rhyme and reason in this old folky song. Singing tunes by Paxton, Phil Oakes and Seeger too, and those sing-alongs by Woody and Denver often woo. Singing them together in four-part harmony, I'll remember all those folk songs and sing in unity. 'Cause I'm just that old folk singer, and I have penned some songs, so much I have learned as time goes on. And I've never been in a band, 'cause I've always sung alone, just sharing rhyme and reason in this old folky song. I remember haunting places that I used to roam, the Iguana on 14th and the old 15 below, and opening for Johnny D so many years ago, and meeting a guy named Gordon at some old DC show. When I was young I rambled every here and there. I'd pack my axe upon my back and go without a care. Whether sitting on a beach somewhere or camping in the woods, I'd sing a line or two, just a hoping they were good. Well, now I'm over 65 and I'm still singing them songs, just a rocking to that gentle beat, hoping you'll sing along. Whether playing on my Martin, at times my Epiphone, just sharing life and all it has before I am long gone. 'Cause I'm just an old folk singer, and I love to sing those songs, so much I have learned as time goes on. And I've never been in a band, 'cause I've always sung alone, just sharing rhyme and reason in this old folky song. Just sharing rhyme and reason before I am long gone. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Welcome, John Oughton.
So if anybody's in a mood to blow a little money on books, I have a poetry book of mine, Gearing of Love, that has my black and white photography. Only $5, and it all goes to Fort McMurray. And my mystery novel, Death or Triangulation, which solves the greatest mystery of the 20th century, only $10. Buy them for me and I'll give the money away. So I'm going to read one poem from an old book. This is called Matahari's Lost Words, and it's a kind of biography of her in poetry, and it's now at a print, but it's going to be republished next year in a revised version because she was executed in 2017 and the French military locked up her trial records and her memoirs for 100 years. So it'll be released next year. So the book's going to come out again then. Ghost. An alteration of the air at the Villa Remy, shadows dappling a brown horse, seemed to rise and turn into a woman riding. The robe of wind whirls around a node where dust and leaves spin a garment for the forest mistress of shadowed trails and pools of light, a garment of loss dancing around nobody. When the wine is gone, a different bouquet remains, air taking on lightness. Such is my ghost. The world, mother of all, cannot stand to lose all her children to the bullet or microbe. So she keeps our most volatile parts to flavor the world after the wine is drunk, bottles smashed. In the sad darkness of the garage where the Daimlers and Peugeots purred for my guests, the signal of my eyes still flashes. On the steps where I posed, a statue of desire carved by the glance of wealthy men, my absence forms a longing the visitor cannot place. These forms hold as much truth as the other tales about my execution, that at the command of fire I threw off my coat. My nakedness dazzled the 12 Zouaves so much that they shot 2 larks and 10 paths of air, and I escaped to live out my old age. Or it was a publicity ploy, morale building for a war-tired public. With blanks in the guns, and after the performance, champagne and kisses, as usual, in a limousine. This last unlikely because so few adults have the courage to enter a fairy tale. I prefer this. I spun on my dancers' souls like a dervish, boring down through the earth as rifles spat above. I swam through Earth's boiling heart and came up to a Java volcano where, worshipped by natives fanning me with palm fronds, I advise young girls on how to love and not lose. Or I am Harry's comet crossing the skies whenever a great man is brought down by lust. Although I never brought anyone down, our fall sleeps within us until our own acts make it real. We need ghosts because the facts are so brutal and dull. I was shot through the heart, my face blown off with a .45 caliber coup de grace, and the body that Europe once worshipped carted to medical students for dissection. That is only the body's truth. The spirit that made me dance rides that horse through shifting shadows in a forest afternoon that lasts forever. Thank you. And I know that was a little heavy and sad. So now something much more cheerful and upbeat. This is called Fatelessness. It's in 2 parts. All his life, he trained to want nothing, desire heavier than luxury. When death came, he did not want it either and was strangely satisfied. 2, she was a beauty, weapon, free pass, sometimes a burden. Then beauty began to stay away nights, even flirt with graffiti. The surgeries, expensive creams, announced her belief in ugliness. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and welcome, Mikel BC. We both have this connection with Zambia.
Yeah, I grew up part of my childhood in Kitwe, Zambia, and Brenda grew up in Kafue Park, Zambia, a few years before me. Fantastic. A portrait of the artist as allergy sufferer, actually. So, Brenda, thank you for asking me to be brief. See if we can get through this. I thought you either had allergies or didn't in life. I was so young and naive. Aging sucks. Fort McMurray. We disappeared into the lightning. That's John Harrison. Okay, since I can't breathe, here's one about breathing. Out of my breath comes light. Out of my breath comes leaves of light. Comes leaves breathing the light. Come trees that drink night from the sun. Out of my breath comes a dream filled with butterflies, a handful of air, plumes of smoke, and an unfolding cloud. Out of my breath comes infinite buds swelling and opening, comes a smell of wet grass, of damp soil, of the taste of our skin, of our salt. Comes water dripping through windows, dripping off of our fingertips and into sake cups. Out of my breath comes the sweet spice and tang of the first taste of samosas and passion fruit juice, Mombasa sea salt air. Out of my breath comes 1,000 birds, caught, caged, and freed for a price on the sinking stones of Piazza San Marco. Out of my breath comes a stream of fish swallowing fire, comes a shrieking behind all expensive things. Comes a shrieking behind expensive car exhaustion, comes a shrieking out of Gaia's exhaust spume groans, Comes the aging lines in my skin becoming patterns. Comes an endless hallway that always leads to the same room. Out of my breath comes cathedrals of dust. Comes the stations of the cross abandoned for plantations. Comes plantations abandoned for fields of wild roses. Out of my breath comes the flower of your mouth. Comes our melting eyes. Comes the water droplets of our eyes. Our vision is always wet. Out of my breath comes a smile. Comes a smile as warm as blood. Out of my breath comes a whisper that evaporates into a cloud. Out of my breath comes breath. Yeah, sorry, I'm not amplifying as much as I usually do. We're just learning how to do everything. I know, that sounded sort of profound, didn't it? This one's sort of African flavored a bit. Brenda? Ooh, do. Ooh, do. Ooh, do. Ooh, do. Ha, hey. Ooh, do. Ha, hey. Ooh, do. Ha, hey. Ooh, do. Another time. 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 Ooh, do. Flower land. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Fire hands. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Hailstorms. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Rain stars. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Old tree. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Lily star. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Clay love. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Mud star. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Shadow hands. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Water heart. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Another time. Ooh, do. Ooh, do. Ooh, do. Hey. And Fort McMurray, no act of kindness, however small, was ever wasted. Thank you for doing this, Brenda.
Stanley Fefferman. And thank you, Mikel. Welcome, Stanley.
So I'd chosen a selection of erotic poems just to sort of share my pleasure in the sensual life. And then when she changed the program to be about the Fort McMurray disaster, so I accordingly changed my program to write poems about my disastrous love affairs. And so, you know, if you continue to think they're amusing, I'd be really happy. I think they're very funny, but not everybody does. So the first one is called The Bite of the Spider Woman. Darkness, shadow of a wing, shingle of hair hides your face leaning into the lamplight. Out of the darkness, the office deserted at 6 o'clock, except for you, Black Widow Webstress, your hourglass running blood, your temple in Tikal abandoned, gathering moonlight and jungle around you, waiting. The title of this next one is called All the Things You Could Have Been If Your Mother Had Been Married to Sigmund Freud. We were dignified and shining, two luminous spiders making our pilgrimage up a vertical cliff, cheerfully catching each nuance and rift in the broad face of love that unrolled under us in the winter sun. Spring is coming, but you are gone. The odor of lovers is in the wind, and I am hungry for their knowledge. I wonder what you are doing. I'm spinning a map of our travels. I'm starting a tour for the flies. There are a lot of older women, I'm happy to say, in the audience now. Whoop. The wrong touch. Whoop. This poem is in praise of an older woman, and it also invokes elemental powers. Age has softened her as ivory. Warm and still in passion, she lies like a desert blooming. Her little cries are the keening of fire and water spirits, pent in the earth and yearning to mingle with the sky. Wow, it stopped in time. Good. So this poem now is about a woman warrior I was related to, and she almost killed me. Really. And so I've written the poem. It's entitled Her Scars. This woman wears wounds, signature of scalpel on breast, neck, and along the leg. This woman was captured, racked, broken-backed over necessity's edge. Still she comes, soft as cat, terrible her attack. Her scars are smiles of tigress. This poem has the word marry in it, and it's entitled Nobody Feeds the Rat. Death hung on your neck like a blessing thread, flew through folds of skin like a sparrow, burned in your overworked flesh like a midnight candle, sat in gentle smiles like a pet white rat, grew in the cage of your eyes like a plan to marry. Okay. Thank you, Bill. That's Bill Frisell, by the way. In the old days, courtly love writers, the original troubadours and trouvères and whatever, frequently recorded that in their ecstasy of unrequited love, they would hallucinate. And there are a lot of poems like that which record their hallucinations, which are seeing visions of the beloved, which turned out to be usually all they could ever get. And therefore, it was very, very intense experience. I too have had some hallucinatory states of mind aroused in me. This poem is haunted by a loss, and the woman who is my lover, she's in the poem, but you will have to imagine her because she doesn't actually appear. There we go. The loss, primordial cricket pulse, between the silences, the loss, the booming pulse, the waves rolling at star rise, the loss of birds, their cries, the footprints underwater, wind in the silence, lights in the bay, the warmth of sunburnt skin hidden from wind, rapid footsteps, the flies, the cool wind, the haste, the diminished street, the cheap lights, the colors of neon, fence, automobile, the dirt, the insane dreams, the homes, the people making visits, the games, the unreal light, the homes, the fires, the loss, the consolations, lovemaking, sleep, a snack, cigarettes, a sigh, the uneasy trip to the toilet, the comfort of possessions, the loss, the sleep, the pretenses, the hope. Now this is very spiritual music. The music that accompanies this poem, which is kind of an ecstatic poem, is by Gurdjieff to Hartman combination. It's very, very spiritual. It's Sufi music, eh? Gurdjieff, Sufi music. Here we go. I cannot say your name right now. The letters I form grow more legible, smaller, with exertion of not bleeding out your name. You are growing older on train tracks, deepening while sunlight flashes on icy snow crust. In spaces between these letters are air tracks, desperate gestures not to lose our balance. I kissed what you offered, your cheeks, in dignity. Secret name in my raw heart, who on these lines can cast your shadow, not now in my keeping. We are haunted by the same skywriting, the same smile riding the wind, flashing out of the shadow of rock in whipped snow, the secret overripe, pouring kiss, wave, name. So this is my closing poem. It's called Going Home, a Fragment. Well, I'm 2 wives and 3 children down the road and moving still, this time through Montana, tailing a caravan of young husbands puffing pipes, their wives beside them swelling in belly and breast like these lightly powdered Badland hills scarfed in mist through which the sun at 10 o'clock intends to shine. Beside me is a woman, not married and not mine, belly sick and sleeping on the car seat, dreaming of bad food and babies. Wyoming, and sun commands the blue big sky. Brown desert earth drinks up melted water. Locust-headed pumps drink oil. And the road home to Boulder, 8 hours away, the radio says we'll have a snowy end, like the gauze-wrapped setsu stick we use to scrape the rice bowl clean during orioki. 90 minutes to Cheyenne, the woman has woken twice to say, "Are you all right?" Scrub pines on powdered buttes, first seen freshly, then like Chinese paintings. Plowed land and cattle, sunset pink clouds, bird's egg blue sky. I see everything twice. The second look, a long tomb like these ragged mountains to the west. The silence suits me, though there may be singing at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley. And next is Sonia Di Placido. Welcome, Sonia.
So we're doing a lot of sort of intermingling with music. I thought I'd share this poem, which has to do with an opera. It's called Broken Strings. Mimi is poor meat. Mimi is a poor poet's meat. Doll, she dies delicate. All promises tire of anarchy. A lovely dove among rats. God's blue violet, a knotted corset, tyrant-strung pulley waiting white. I may be a wandering Sunday loser, but I am not here to rest by that guitar for you. Purify those jarred fingers from callous, pure callousness. Volumes and lucid level bobs, vocal is a cuckold's nest, the tones reunite. You cock, I bellow, over wolves, howls from this belly's quake. My tears precise, oh Robert, she sighs, a bird flapping, she takes flight. Then the poets reunite. Mimi, you, my poets, meet. You can wait to clap to the end. I'm going to share some translations I'm actually working on from an Italian poet. They're going to be presented at the Italian Contemporary Film Festival, and I won't be reading them, but it's an honor for me to work on these, and so I'm going to share them with you. They're written originally by Antonia Pozzi, and I'll read the English, and if you want me to read the Italian, I will. Okay, so I'll read it after, so maybe you can. So I'll work with two poems. This is called The Path. Hoping, during an unsullied and tough tomorrow, trespassing, forgetting the face of hope in real time, valleys dreaming for life, and a faint pathway remains. One night your mountain remembers having had a girl on its bosom of grass, and far away seeing, searching over lost ridges, the shadows of your buried things, it calls out with old hints of bells. Your journey takes you back along the grassy basin to the candid wall, to the gate ajar. Over there, in the flat, quaint garden, at the return of the seasons, at the skies of snows and spring-like winds, the mouths of children unknown will come to sing over your solitude. And that's Antonia Pozzi in 1935. This is the Italian. Il sentiero, sperare mentre il domani intatto sconfina e tosto, dimenticare il volto delle speranze nel tempo vero. Viali sognavi per la vita e un esile sentiero ti rimane. Una sera la tua montagna si ricorderà di averti avuta bambina in suo grembo d'erba e lontana vedendoti a cercare su perse rive le ombre delle tue cose sepolte, ti chiamerà con cenni antichi delle campane. Il tuo sentiero ti ricondurrà lungo la valle per la conca prativa, al muro candido, al cancello socchiuso. Lassù, nel breve orto disteso, ai ritorni delle stagioni, ai cieli della neve e dei venti primaverili. Verranno bocche di bambini sconosciuti a cantare sulla tua solitudine. Okay, and I'll read one more. And this is called The Mountains. At night, they occupy like stout women with hands of stone over their chests. They set the stumps of roads, hiding the infinite hope of a return. Their absence, the children mature within valleys, mute. Down there, they call them sails or battlements. In the morn, the earth seemed blue and red to them. Now a slide of steps collapse over passages of large pebbles hoisting its shoulders. The sky beats in gasps, its white clouds. Mothers, they raise up before them, veer their vast eyes to the branches of the stars, awaiting an aurora should it be born at the extreme edge. At the bare bosom flourish rose bushes. So do you want me to read it in Italian? Okay. Le montagne occupano come immense donne la sera, sul petto raccolte le mani di pietra, fissan sbocchi di strade, tacendo l'infinità speranza di un ritorno. Mute in grembo maturano figli all'assente, lo chiameron belle laggiù o battile, indi azzurra e rossa parve loro la terra. Ora a un franare di passi sulle ghiaie, grandi traslagon nelle spalle. Il cielo batte in un sussulto le sue ciglia bianche. Madri, esse rigon nella fronte, scostano dai vasti occhi i rami delle stelle, se all'orlo estremo dell'attesa nascia un'aurora, e la brullo ventre fiorisca rosai. That's 1937. Thank you. And I'll read one more short poem from a chapbook I just recently had out from Lyrical Miracle Plus, published by Luciano Jacobelli, who's here at the back. So it's just a quick little poem to celebrate poets, and it's here. We have, whoops. A poet makes noise with her or his sleeve, cotton inked, noise brushing at nerve damage. A pencil scribbles noise, leading sharp signals outside pulped wood. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. And now, Steeple. Are you ready? Good.
I'm going to do a couple of tunes from one of my CDs, and if you like what you hear, there are copies at the back table, and all proceeds go to Fort McMurray. So this is a tune about our beautiful town. It's called In Toronto.
I got a melody and rhythm, lyric to go with 'em. Bought a brand new set of strings. I'm looking for a girl who sings smoky harmony. Come and take a walk on Blue, you find an open door, come see just what the nighttime brings. We're gonna do some things in Toronto. In Toronto, the menu is changing from day to day. See what's on the tray tonight. In Toronto, you don't know what street show is waiting a block away. Hey, Toronto, turn on the light. You can wear your happy feet there, dance a sassy beat there. When your day of work is done, we're gonna have some fun in Toronto. Have some fun. Going south along Spadina, head for Little China, hot and sour soup to go. Don't worry about what you don't know, it'll come to you. Oh, won't you tell me what you're seeking? We can spend the weekend wandering around the AGO. We'll take it nice and slow in Toronto. In Toronto, whoever you are, it's alright with me. You don't have to be polite, but it helps. In Toronto, the window is wide open. You're free to disagree. Hey, Toronto, turn on the light. I got a melody and rhythm, lyric to go with them. Bought a brand new set of strings. I'm looking for a girl who sings smoky harmony. Come and take a walk on Blue, you'll find an open door. Come see just what the nighttime brings. We're gonna do some things in Toronto. In Toronto. In Toronto.
That was the first time I'd ever heard that song. I just followed him. Well, good luck to all of this. Good. Here's a song called Here and Now Woman, kind of a jazzy blues ballad, and I guess this will be the last song of the night. I love it. I love the drums. Drums overhead. She doesn't ask about my childhood, doesn't talk about the past. She doesn't care how many times I came in first or last. She doesn't need to know my business, long as I can look her in the eye. She's my here and now woman, here and now till the day I die. Doesn't look for any favor, doesn't dip into my cash. When I'm hungry for some loving, she doesn't say you're too rash. She doesn't mind when I grow distant, long as I come back now and again. She's my here and now woman, doesn't think about the there and then. The vice versa, I wish I could be so kind. Though I try to mind my business, I get trouble in my mind. Always worried about the future, or excavating bones from days gone by. But my here and now woman needs a here and now guy. Doesn't smile when she's unhappy. She can't wear a double face. She doesn't need to seek approval from the human race. And she will never put the dog on. It wouldn't even cross her mind to try. She's my here and now woman, here and now till the day I die.
That was a great evening. We're out of time. The library closes at 8:30. If you came for open mic, I really apologize. Normally I have quite a few open mic, at least 5 or 6 open mics or more. So come back next month, June 27th, Monday night, and then we'll be starting up again at the end of September. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming out and donating to the Fire Relief Fund. I'm just so happy to have done this. This was a great pop-up salon, very special. You're all very special. Thank you so much.